Did you know that a lot of people do this wrong? A lot of people mess this up when it comes to how to handle using your personal vehicle in your business. So I'm Bernadette L. Harris, and I'm an award-winning tax and forensic accountant with over 20 years of experience specializing in keeping small business in business. Clients come to me when they are ready and committed to grow. So my services include bookkeeping, CFO services, and when needed, forensic accounting to investigate fraud. You can learn more about partnering with me by when you are ready by visiting our website at the BTB Advisory Firm. So today I want to jump right in because I like to keep this quick and to the point. And I want to try to demystify some of the things that you may see on social media and hopefully answer any questions that you have around using your vehicle in your business. So the first thing that we have to determine is whether or not it is a personal vehicle or a business vehicle. Now, a lot of times people say, well, I'm always doing business. I'm always talking about my business. So my vehicle is 100% business. That is rare. The only time that you can really say without a doubt that your vehicle is 100% business is if you have a business vehicle and a personal vehicle. Because let's face it, you're going to the grocery store, you're going to the salon or the barber shop, you're going to go to a birthday party. Those things are not business related trips. And so when you use a vehicle, if this is your only vehicle, then it is a personal vehicle that you use in your business, right? And if that's the case, that's fine. That is actually an ideal situation. A lot of times people think buying a vehicle under the business name is the best situation, and that's not always the case. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's talk about if you have a personal vehicle and you use your vehicle sometimes for business, sometimes for personal. So the way that the IRS code is written, the tax code is written, you have a choice of either taking the actual expenses of the cost of operating your vehicle, or you can take a mileage deduction based on the actual business miles that you deduct. Now, this is the piece that most people don't know. Whether you use the actual method or the mileage method, you still have to keep a mileage log. A mileage log says how many miles you drove personally, how many miles you drove for business. What this does is it gives us a percentage of use. So it may say, let's say for instance, that you drive 50% of the time for business, 50% of the time for personal. We'll use 50% because that's an easy percentage, right? So if you use your car 50% of the time for business, 50% of the time for personal, if you are using the actual method, then you would take 50% of the cost of running your vehicle, or so that's gas, that's insurance, that's repairs, the interest, not the full payment on your vehicle. You can take 50% of that cost. And again, most people think, oh, gas is really high right now. Let me keep up with my gas receipts. Just know that because you're using that vehicle for both business and personal, you can't deduct the full tank of gas. You can only deduct a percentage of use. So if you're using the vehicle 50% of the time for business, then you can deduct 50% of that gas, not all of the gas. And I see it a lot with new clients that are coming on. They're buying their gas from their business account, but it's their personal vehicle, and that's all wrong, right? So you need to be purchasing gas from your personal account. And if you're taking the actual expenses, we can talk about how we can, like with my clients, we set that up so that you get reimbursed from the business and you're not commingling funds. We don't want that, right? And so that's the actual method based on that percentage. The mileage method, however, is, in my opinion, a better option because the mileage rate is really high, and you get to deduct a certain amount of percentages. I'm sorry, you get to deduct for every mile that you drive. So like, let's say Metro Atlanta as an example. It is very easy in Metro Atlanta to drive 100 miles in a day. It doesn't take anything to drive 100 miles in a day, right? And based on that, you can get a huge deduction for right now. The mileage reimbursement rate, or the mileage rate, is 62 and a half cents a mile, right? So if you drive 100 miles for business, 62 and a half cents a mile, that equals out to $62.52. So I want you to follow me. Don't get caught up in the math, because I just want you to see how this makes sense, right? So let's say you drive 100 miles, you get the 62 and a half cents a mile. That's $62.50. Now my vehicle, I have a big vehicle with a big tank. So my vehicle, I can get 650 miles on a tank of gas, right? A tank of gas, the last time I filled up, which was today, was $85, right? So $85. If I use my vehicle 50% of the time for business, I will get to deduct half of that $85, right? And half of the $85 is gonna be way more. It's what, like 40 something dollars, right? That's half. But if I said that, oh, I drove 100 miles, I can deduct $62.50 for 100 miles, which is not a half a tank of gas. And so a lot of times people don't realize that keeping a mileage log, that is where the money is. This is where people leave money on the table. This is where people overpay their taxes because they don't want to keep up with a mileage log. You just want to buy your gas with your business account, and that's not where you get the most bang for your buck. It's a personal vehicle, using it both business and personal. Keep track of your mileage. That is a huge deduction. And this is a way that you can get reimbursed from your business, and it's a deduction for the business, and it's not income for you. And so that's one of the things that I want, if you don't get anything else out of this live, I want you to understand the importance of keeping a mileage log, and how keeping a mileage log can save you big time on taxes, because it's essentially a non-cash deduction. I didn't spend $62 to drive 100 miles, but I'm going to deduct it on my taxes. And so it comes out to be worth it. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you all, because then now let's jump into, we got like 5 minutes. I'm going to jump into actually purchasing a business vehicle, because a lot of people ask me this question: should I buy my new car in the business's name? Should I lease a car in the business name? And the answer to that question is, it depends. But it depends on whether or not, one, it's a vehicle that you're going to use both business and personal, right? If you're going to use the vehicle both business and personal, then it's not a business vehicle. So your business shouldn't be purchasing that vehicle. But if it is a business vehicle, and maybe you have another vehicle that, you have a paid for car that you run to the grocery store, you run your errands in, and then you have this new car that you do all your business running in, that is totally different. Now, this is the part that a lot of people don't know, and this is where they get messed up. You purchase a vehicle in the name of the business. First of all, it needs to be titled to the business, right? So the loan needs to be in the business name, not your personal name. The second thing is, when you purchase a vehicle in the business name, you are supposed to purchase a commercial insurance policy. So you can't have just regular insurance. You got to have a commercial policy on your vehicle. A lot of people get messed up here because they have a vehicle, it may even be in the business name, or they're paying for it in the business name, but they have a regular insurance policy on it. Now, you know that if you're using your vehicle for business and your insurance company does not know that, and you get into an accident with maybe clients in the vehicle or running business errands, they can deny your claims. And so that is another reason why, if you are going to purchase a vehicle in the business name, that you do it the right way. And in my opinion, it's just too much work. It's too much work. And commercial insurance policies cost way more than a regular insurance policy. And so for me, I've always purchased my vehicles personally. And when I drive them for business, I just deduct the miles. I keep track of the business miles that I drive, and I deduct those miles either by deducting them on my tax return, or because my business is a corporation, my business pays me a reimbursement every month for the miles that I drive in my business. So I hope that is helpful. I'm going to jump in the comments real quick and make sure that I'm not missing any questions or any comments from anybody. So remember, you can either have a personal vehicle that you use in your business and you deduct the mileage, which in my opinion is 90% of the time is the greater deduction. The exception to that rule is when you're driving an older vehicle and the vehicle may have lots of repairs that you have to make to it, or in the instance where, like, if you have a transportation company or something like that, then in those kind of instances, then the actual expenses make sense. But typically, if it's a transportation company, it's not going to be a vehicle that you're going to use. You're not driving that vehicle to church or to the club, right? Whatever you rock with, right? And so in that situation, it would be exclusively a business vehicle, and it would make sense to have it titled in the business name and a commercial insurance policy on it. So I hope this information was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. I'll be here in the Efficient CEO group with what I call my 15 minutes of fire. Just a little chat to give you guys some information to help you be more efficient and profitable in your business. I hope you will attend. As always, you can put my 20 years of award-winning accounting experience to work for you. If you are ready to take your business to the next level, check us out at the BTB Advisory Firm.com. You can learn more about our company and book a discovery call. So thanks again for being here, and I will see you next week.